I'm going to say some incredibly controversial things right now, and I hope you're triggered.
Carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off, and I fall down.
The one thing that I've been like really thinking about lately is how fear is the only thing that's keeping people stuck. I feel like so many people are like, my life is more fun with alcohol. And I'm like, well, have you tried life without alcohol?
It's important to realize that when it comes to sobriety and recovery and all those things, I wish that it wasn't something as important as it is. With the rise in alcoholism, starting with COVID, the alcohol industry going to be $1 trillion industry projected in 2025, which is just bananas. There are so many people that are exacerbating their casual drinking into alcoholic behavior, and people who have a dependency who are starting to take things to another level. So when I look at that and I go, we're all releasing, you and I and everyone in this community, constantly reaching and creating a safe space for people to take care of themselves, to see that there's only 21 people today that are going, hey, I have a question. Will you help me, please? That's good news. It's going to get worse, and that's just the human condition. But that creates a purpose for those who have taken care of themselves and in a position to help others. That's why we're here, man. That's why we do what we do. And I'm so stoked to be here and hanging out with you.
I know, I was looking forward to this, and I was like, well, this is the first time we've done this in a long time. I think I've just done maybe one other one that was not super story related, but you're in the sober space. So this is my first sober space podcast like this.
Sick. I love it. Well, we're just going to chat it up. We're just going to go, we'll go through some concepts, some ideas, see where the conversation goes. One of my favorite things is just to go off the top. Nothing I do is like scripted, and my best ideas come out when I'm blacked out in the middle of a thought, and I'm like, "What did I just say?"
Right.
You're like, "That was amazing." I'm like, "What happened?"
I get it. Everybody liked my walk and talks because they were just like me just talking, just randomly throwing my thoughts out there, and I was like, "Well, here we are today. We're gonna throw our thoughts out together."
Incredible. I love it.
So the one thing that I've been like really thinking about lately is how fear is the only thing that's keeping people stuck. I feel like so many people are like, my life is more fun with alcohol. And I'm like, well, have you tried life without alcohol?
That's a huge, huge, huge topic. Fear, the number one of, we'll say the top 5 things that I get is, am I going to have withdrawals? I'm afraid of withdrawals. I'm afraid of who I'll be without alcohol. I'm afraid that my anxiety is going to get worse. I'm afraid. It's all fear-based. We're afraid of the emotion we're having, which is why we're drinking. We're also afraid of not drinking and processing that same emotion. Most people think their head is going to explode if they think that thought one more time. And the crazy part is, the brain's an idiot. Not you are. The brain, neurochemically, it cannot determine whether or not you're being held at gunpoint or you're thinking about skipping rocks and there's a bear behind you. It can't determine that. What you imagine, your brain and body are going to perceive as truth, as facts. This is neuroscience. So if you could think about being happy, you're one step closer to actually generating the thoughts and the feelings and the actions. They're going to lead to the dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins that represent the chemical cocktail that is happiness. But if we continue finding all the reasons why, it's just not going to be fun. You're not fun. That's what it is. You suck at entertaining yourself. And you're afraid that you're going to have to face the absolute fact that you're actually not entertaining and you suck at playing by yourself. That would hurt. It hurts me just thinking about it.
Right.
But if you don't practice playing, you're always going to be in fear that nothing will be fun.
It's like the comeback, like, well, life is boring without alcohol. What am I gonna do?
You're
Well,
boring without alcohol.
have you?
There's no such thing as boredom. There's only boring people. The 5-year-old, she's like, I'm bored. I'm like, you better do 25 jumping jacks, like right now. You better go run around this house. Are you telling me, and I have to ask her, are you telling me right now that you don't know how to have fun? No. Well, okay, go do something. But there's no buts. Okay. And then she's like, oh, okay. The cure to boredom, you know what the cure to boredom is? It's boredom. If you're
Yeah.
bored enough, you'll figure out something to do. That's why we can't keep escaping that boredom with the drink and pretending like we're not bored.
But like, why is it boring without alcohol? Like, what is so like? I think sitting around with just a drink in my hand, sitting there doing nothing, and that's boring.
I guess, but why are you prioritizing sitting around doing nothing with a drink in your hand?
Because they
In
don't do anything besides drink.
that makes absolute sense. So the cure to that is to do something else. You can't sit there, do nothing, think nothing, feel nothing, and expect something. What? You're getting the exact result you're practicing. Nothing. There's nothing happening. You know what's even crazier? I'm not showing up either. The circus isn't going to arrive at your doorstep. Infinite things to do. Alcohol is one thing. One. Life is literally everything else. Paint the chair you're sitting on. No, I don't want to. Just do it. Go outside for 5 minutes. It's cold. Put on a jacket. Like, watch a show. I've seen everything. You haven't. You got to do stuff. If you
It's
don't do stuff, you
excuse
get to
after
sit.
excuse after excuse. And if we can release those excuses, maybe people would be less lazy and dependent on alcohol.
Right. But the truth is, people are afraid of taking on the responsibility of their own happiness.
Right. Somebody
It's
else,
easy.
their knight in shining armor is their alcohol bottle.
Right. I hung out with Jack Daniels for 20 years. He was always there. I just picked him up. I asked him if he wanted to hang out. He was with me when I was bored, when I had nothing to do, when I had a ton of stuff to do, when I was everything. He was always, always, always there. But the
Mhm.
trip with this is when we're in recovery, we're sitting here going, are you, I don't know if I have what it takes. I'm afraid of my own potential. Because the reality, two things happen when you stop drinking and you got to take on the responsibility of your happiness. You realize that it's your fault why you're happy. It's also your fault why you're not. No, it's not the external circumstances. Either you're not moving away from what's hurting you and making your life miserable, or you've actively found a reason why that's okay and you choose to stay there. So when you stop drinking, you're faced with the reality that you had the choice the whole time. The whole time. And now you have to
But
come
wait,
to,
did they have the choice or are they genetically alcoholics?
there's no such thing.
Thank you.
There's no such thing as born an alcoholic. I have a video coming out. Like, if I wasn't working on this website, I'd be recording this video for YouTube. If you guys haven't followed me on YouTube, please do that. Beyond Sober. I got a video coming out that the title of it is I Was Never Safe. And it goes in not the genetic predisposition, but how addictive patterning forms far before your first substance, way before you ever even know what alcohol is. You are programmed in certain circumstances to escape, to isolate, to seek. When we become capable, we go for whatever that might be. So you have an emotion that you don't prefer. Mm-hmm. I can get away from that real quick. I can't run away, but I could step into the illusion that that thought and that emotion doesn't exist. It doesn't matter if I'm going through a breakup or there's a bill sitting on the table that I don't want to pay. I could just escape that feeling with the drink. Our environment shapes our neurochemistry. We're not genetically more likely to become an alcoholic. And if we were, people would be able to be pre-diagnosed. Hey, Megan over here, she's hate to say this. What? Yeah. She's born busted, born broken. Crazy. That's not how it works. But the number one thing that shapes alcoholism is not the alcohol. It's the surrounding
Mhm.
of other alcoholics, people that practice that behavior. Your greatest influence are the external factors, specifically the people that you've been surrounding yourself with. So if you start acting like the alcoholic next to you, you are definitely more prone to become an alcoholic. That is the number one determining factor on whether or not you ever even consider practicing that type of behavior.
But my dad, my uncle, my grandpa, my great grandpa, my grandma, my aunts, they're all alcoholics, right? So I'm
So
going
and
to
you're
be an
telling me
alcoholic. Like, I'm destined to be an alcoholic.
that's the most false statement I could possibly imagine. You think every single one of those people were born genetically predisposed to develop alcoholism? What if they never picked up their first drink? What if
Exactly.
they never drank? What if they didn't practice the alcoholic behavior like one more shot, let's get blacked out, let's get drunk, let's binge? What if they just kept it casual? I'll have a glass of scotch, right? Or I'll have 3 beers, recommended by the CDC. Now it's 0. I'll have a glass of wine for its intended purpose at dinner. If they never woke up, if they never practiced enough alcoholic behavior to where their physiological state of being was so miserable that their first thought was, God, I need to escape this, they wouldn't have solved that hangover with another drink. This has nothing to do with genetics in any way whatsoever. And this is the craziest part. The reason why they don't want us to know this is because the less that people know, the more likely they are to depend on alcohol. Hence the industry rising. You think hospitals don't like the fact that you need their attention? Dude, my medical bills were $1.5 million
Oh my
from my liver
gosh.
failure. That's insurance right there. Someone's getting paid. Crazy. But if we know
Yep.
that we're always in control, then once again, we're burdened with the responsibility of taking care of ourselves. And we can't blame, which is what we love to do, our existence on external factors.
This one, it's just been such a topic that, like, I feel like so many people, it's just such an excuse to be like, well, it just runs all the way down my family. I mean, I've even heard it from my side of the family, like, well, your cousins and blah blah blah, your family up north, blah 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 blah. I'm like, just because they are doesn't mean that I am. Like, I grew up around alcohol. It was the environment. I
Right?
chose to take that first drink.
Right. 100%. If we want to go even further, I was an alcoholic. I needed 2 bottles of liquor every day, or my withdrawals would literally kill me. My heart stopped eventually. But here's the trip. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't had alcohol in almost 8 years. I don't think about alcohol unless I'm talking about it for the sake of education. I don't crave it because I have everything that alcohol gave me. I'm at peace. I have purpose. I'm confident, sexy on certain days. All the things alcohol gave me is what I work on all day long. I just went to the Bryce Vine concert, surrounded by alcohol, bars on every single corner. They had to check my ID. I was like, oh, I forgot that they do this, right?
Hmm.
Alcohol all over the floors. 4 women crying their eyes out because they had too much. Women, boom, face planting. And I'm sitting here going, damn, whoa, crazy. Am I more likely to pick up a drink simply because I used to be an alcoholic? Do I have a disease? Is it my genetics that it's not a good idea for me to go enjoy myself because alcohol may be involved? Because I once had a high functioning physical dependency on alcohol that I am forever broken. I'm the same person. Even though my dad was an alcoholic, my mom was an alcoholic, my little sister is an alcoholic, her liver failed. My cousin, my uncle was the first alcoholic I ever heard of. I'm forever toasted, all because every person I know practiced the same alcoholic behavior I did? That's bananas. They were the one that taught me how to do it.
Right?
But they never taught me. I probably would have developed some type of alcoholism or alcoholic behavior because I got extreme ADHD, and alcohol is awesome for an ADHD brain. But that makes me 10 times more likely to develop an addiction, all because my brain produces less dopamine.
Right. I mean, maybe that's the genetic part, is the ADHD is genetic. I don't know. Like, maybe
ADHD, yeah.
maybe I don't. I'm, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but hey guys, I hope that you're enjoying this podcast. Welcome to Nikau Coffee. We are overcoming addiction. This is locally roasted here in Boise, Idaho. I ship it out. It is organic and chemical free. We got a decaf, which is 0 proof decaf. We have a blackout free espresso. We got a no regrets medium, and we got a fresh start medium dark. I hope you guys will check it out in the description below. It's just funny to me that that's another excuse, another reason for people to be like, well, I just do it because it's genetic. Are you fat because it's genetic?
Yeah. Okay. It's the same concept. I mean, you're not born with the patterns. You're not even raised with the patterns per se. You may be trained into the patterns through your family, how they, maintain a family dynamic. The people you choose to hang around, those are your biggest influences. This
Mhm.
is why this is why I don't hang out with anybody. I like hang out with you like once a month. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like the people that I'm around, they're building businesses, man. They're in the gym. They are working hard. They do not stop. Those are the people that I'm inspired by. I'm not trying to impress them, but they are impressing upon me in the same exact way that Jimmy Jam, who just broke up with his girlfriend, that's handing me an extra shot to commiserate with him so he could feel bad. Not only am I like commiserating with the poison he's using to process his emotions, but I'm making my circumstance worse by proximity. Dude, I need to stop hanging out with you if the thing that you're going to do is make me just as bad as you, bro. It doesn't
Right?
matter if, here's the absolute genetic fact. Even if I am genetically more likely to become an alcoholic, if I don't practice any of the alcoholic behaviors that activate that genetic condition, I am at zero risk, maybe 1% risk of ever developing the same alcoholic behaviors that every single person in my family picked up.
Right? I mean, I was 15 when I had my first drink, and that was my choice to have my drink.
Right. So is it safe to say that it was your genetic predisposition that opened the thought that maybe you could drink? Or was it the fact that you were 15 years old and your brain was half developed and you felt sad?
Right? Or this is the thing to do. Or, oh, I grew up around it. Everybody else is doing it. I surrounded myself with everybody else that drank at my level.
Right. Had nothing to do with genetics. But even if it did, if you hang out with those people long enough, you do what they do, you drink the way they drink, you're going to lower your mental health, you're going to lower your physical health, you're going to surround yourself with conditions, people, places, things, ideas, and feelings that are going to make you want to escape the one reality you're creating for yourself. The easiest way to do that is one more drink.
One more makes you cool.
Yeah. Guess how much alcohol I could drink without dying?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I used to be that person like, oh, I can outdrink this person. Oh, like 4 to their 1. I'm like, man, that was not something to be proud of. But
Yeah. I
I
used
mean,
to go to parties and be like, these chicks, man, y'all just drink all of us dudes under the table, dude. Like shotguns and shots and like, whoa. Like I was a DJ for 16 years. So I've walked into the wrong rooms many, many, many times. Like, whoa, dude. It was the alcohol. It was all those things. But I used to think like I was attracted to women that could outdrink me. That was a
yeah,
deciding factor from a primal standpoint, how strong they were. What? That's insane, dude. That's like, guess how many cliffs I could jump off without dying? Guess how many times I could ram my skull into the wall without bleeding? Why is that important to me? It's because I'm sick.
it's so true. Like I used to like when I was younger, I'm like, oh, they think that I'm cool. Let me drink some more.
Yeah. Even right now, we were talking to the 8-year-old, and she mentioned or indicated that she started to change the way she dresses because one of her friends doesn't dress that way anymore. And I'm like, dude, you're about to be 9. The last thing that you need to be doing is altering your own personal style because one of your friends doesn't wear the same stuff. You're now starting to pre-program yourself with people pleasing. You're starting to develop at not even 9
Right.
that other people's opinions that are their own, doesn't even have anything to do with you, are more important than your own feelings. Look at your 5-year-old sister. You think she's wearing those Crocs with those tights that have pumpkins on it and a big blue vest because of what they. No, she's out here going like, I'm going fishing. Who's coming with me, dude? With her Spider-Man backpack and a fluffy coat and with a bottle that has 2 things that don't even go together. What is the bottle? She does not care. That's ADHD for you, just so you know.
Oh my gosh. It's true. I mean, my almost 9-year-old is definitely starting to be more influenced, and I'm like, girl, you got to stand your ground.
Facts, dude. We got to reiterate. You are the cool kid, just so you know. Like your style, your everything, like you're you, who you are as a person. You are so cool, dude. Like the last thing that you want to be doing is like warping your self-worth or identity because of someone else who barely even understands themselves. That's just their warped perception of their own clothing. Doesn't have anything to do with you, man. Do you like it? Does it feel good? Is it cool on your skin, right? Do you feel nice? Yeah, wear it. Yeah, but there's no buts.
Yeah, that's my 6-year-old boy. He just wants to wear sweats because everybody else does, and I'm like, you don't have to look like Adam Sandler every single day. But then
Yeah,
my therapist was like, Megan, if that's what he wants to wear, let him wear it. And I'm like, but I don't.
yeah.
Like, it's a hard one.
You see how soon we start these practices. And so let's just take that example. If you were to pressure him every day and make him feel bad for wearing the most comfortable clothing, the most simple decision, he's probably wearing the same socks for the whole week. I know when the 5-year-old's got here because I could smell her before she walks in the door. I know, and she wants me to eat her feet. Girl, can you not get? Okay. The point with this is if we were to make them feel bad about deciding on their clothing, obviously they're not getting hurt. Nobody else is getting hurt. It's not disrupting anyone. They made the decision on their own. It's a personal preference. If you smell funny, but are you happy? Yeah. If we made them feel bad about those things, they're going to start developing these resentments. They're
Mhm.
going to start developing these internal neurological structures and networks. They're going to start hiding things. I personally did this because my dad wouldn't let me wear what I wanted to wear. When I said I wanted to cut my hair, he said, yeah, flat top, military. So guess what I did when he left? Spikes, the complete opposite. He wouldn't let me leave the house unless the bottoms of my pants were hemmed up, not touching the ground. We couldn't afford pants. So if there was a scuff on them, I got beat, literally punished for scuffing my pants or my shoes. So here's what I did to make sure that that never happened. I would wear my friends' clothes. I would take their clothes, put them in my backpack, leave the house looking prim and proper, and then on the bus, jump into my chonies, put on what I really wanted to wear, then change again on the way back. Just to appease. But
Mhm.
now, or I'm sorry, as I became an adult, that same type of people pleasing, dysregulated regulated nervous system, the preemptive processes that go into the preparation for abuse, basically, emotional, physical, psychological, whatever, that led me to extreme alcoholic behavior because that feeling starts to kick in way before I'm even aware of it.
Yeah. I mean, the longer I go, the more I can see there was so many tendencies or so many things from my childhood that I tried covering up with alcohol. Like, it's like, oh, you masked those for years. And now I'm like, oh, all of this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. So the key to that when I'm working with anybody, even in the program, the first module is radical acceptance. It's not going, well, it is what it is. It's literally going, bro, it is. And that's it.
Hmm.
It's no more than recognition. You can't touch it. You can't go back. It's not even real. As a matter of fact, you can't even prove that what you're struggling with in here is tangible. You're recreating it in your own mind. And we hang on to it because we think it's important. But when we could radically accept things for what they are, it's just something that happened. It doesn't define your entire existence. You're not meant to hang on to it. You're not meant to ruminate. If you're ruminating, it's because there's an unclosed, the loop hasn't finished yet. Allow the loop to close, which is feeling the emotion. You only felt this. You've only reached the peak. Ow, this sucks. I don't like it. Oh, trauma. And then we stop. No. Then there's oh, it's not so bad. Okay, I get it. And then, oh, it's done. We can close that loop. Then we could jump into the illusion that we fixed it or we healed it or whatever it is. But in reality, it's just radically accepting things for what they are. The fact that it happened, it is what it is. How you feel about it changes absolutely nothing. But what does matter is how you choose to look at it now. If you choose to victimize yourself and rerun different scenarios that also didn't happen, attempt to figure out why you were the chosen one and it ended up in this way and why it could have been different but wasn't, you are recreating a scenario that your brain does not know is not real. Therefore, neurologically, biochemically, your brain and body is flooded with the same exact chemicals that happened in trauma. Duh. This is it's basically it's just making it worse.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people like to deal with their trauma. So they just stay stuck to the bottle. They're going to drink the bottle, but the bottle's going to drink them instead.
The bottle is the real trauma.
Yeah.
Alcohol kills your trauma. Okay, it's trauma because you survived it. Alcohol kills 3.5 million people a year. You're not going to survive that trauma. I barely survived. Dude, I died. Like my heart stopped. I've been dead before. I've met many people, similar circumstances, sometimes worse. They died too. They remember the experience. Alcohol is the trauma. That's why healing hurts.
Nobody wants to do the hard stuff. They just want to stay stuck and like miserable.
Right. That's called the familiar pain. But nobody's ready for the unfamiliar piece. We think
Right.
that the unfamiliar piece, check this out. We think that's the scary part. Here's the craziest part. And I know this because I was an alcoholic. Literally, everything. Couldn't go to the grocery store, couldn't go to court, couldn't pay a bill, couldn't drive, couldn't do anything without taking 2, 3, 4 shots, sometimes 5, just to stay normal. Remember, high functioning alcoholics drink to act normal. They don't drink to get drunk. Drunks drink to get drunk. My point with this is that hang on, my ADHD is kicking my ass right now. Hold up. Where was I going? What did you say? I just watched it leave me. Like I was sitting here, I was like, I have something magical to say. And then it's just slowly
The grocery
disappearing.
store, like thinking of alcohol.
Oh my goodness. It's gonna flip back to me. Um,
My
but
ADHD does that to me all the time.
yeah, it's super crazy. See, I get lost in it and I get like ahead of myself and my brain's trying to catch up. I think kind of where I was going is that we get lost in the perceptions that alcohol provides for us. And okay, I know where I was going. We would rather stay in that familiar pain, the familiar struggle, right? We know what to do. We know how to handle it. That's nothing one more drink can't fix. But every day, every moment we spend under the influence on another planet, under the delusion, is another second, another day, another moment, another week, another year that we're moving further away from what needs our attention. Most people, I get messages every single day. As a matter of fact, right here, I don't like 12-step meetings. They feel like I'm going to be backwards in treatment again. Like I'm past that. Right. There's a lot of very specific things that we're taught, whether it's 12-step stuff or just people who've been around, that make us feel like we're digressing. We don't like that. I know what to do when things hurt. I'll just take a drink. I know what to do when things are miserable. I'll just have one more. I don't actually know what to do when I feel good because do I celebrate with alcohol? Is that what I'm supposed to do? That's what we do, right? Like I
Right.
got where's the champagne? Am I not supposed to do that? Like what? So we're like, I don't want to step into the reality of being an active participant in my own journey. I'd rather do the easy thing, which is escape the emotion, escape the illusion of the trauma that we're recreating, and just maintain the normalcy that I'm familiar with, opposed to doing the work, which is difficult now and easy later.
I feel like that goes so hand in hand with people that are just unhealthy in general and they're just like obese and they don't, I mean, alcoholism and obesity, I feel like go hand in hand. It's like you have to do the freaking work. Nobody's going to hand you, like we can hand you blueprints all day long. We
Mhm.
can show up for you all day long. I can't hold your hand every single second of the day. You have to do the work. If
Right.
you want to quit drinking, you have to learn to heal. You have to do the hard stuff. If you want to lose weight and get healthy, you got to be consistent as well. You got to do the hard stuff. Is it easy? Is it easy for me to work out every single day? No. I mean, I'm disciplined to do it, but
Yeah.
and I'm also disciplined to never pick up a bottle again, because it's just, I learned how to deal with the hard stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And here's like the whole reason um, Beyond Sober exists. The book exists. Everything that I do exists is for you to not need it. Okay. One of my greatest kind of, it's not even a reality, it's a fact, is that quitting drinking is easy. Getting sober is easy. And I know that's super triggering to a lot of people.
Just
Sober
stop.
takes 4 days.
That's
Yeah.
really triggering too.
Sober takes 4 days. That's how long it takes for alcohol to process out of your body. 4 days, 96 hours. On extreme cases, maybe 5 days. Sobriety is the inevitable result of you pretending like you matter. Pretending. You don't even have to care about yourself. You don't even have to care about anything. But if you pretend like you do or mimic the behaviors of someone that does, you're going to start caring. And the reason for that is you're going to start feeling better. You're going to start having better thoughts. The goal is not to quit drinking. That is the inevitable result of you just focusing forward. If we're focused on what we're not supposed to do, we're always going to amplify things that don't need our attention. But if we give our attention to exactly what we need to be giving our attention to, then the inevitable result is less of what we're supposed to ignore. Damn, you mean I'm supposed to drink water instead of alcohol? Yeah, see what happens. I don't have so many cravings.
Right? Oh my gosh,
Drinking is a kind of life you don't want to escape.
you hit a topic. I'm reading what is the exact title? I'm reading Alan Carr's Quit Drinking Without Willpower, and in the book, Be a Happy Non-Drinker. In the book, it mentions just stop. Somebody commented on my one of my YouTubes the other day and said, it's so funny that you can just tell people just to stop. And I'm like, well, I did. I just stopped. But the book also, he mentions like, I don't know. It's a girl that reads it. I don't know. Maybe it's a he, maybe it's a she. I don't know. But in the book, it mentions like, you just have to stop drinking to stop drinking. If you just stop drinking.
Yeah.
And so many people feel so attacked by that. Obviously, it comes with withdrawals, and you have to be careful about it. We're aware of that. But it is something that you can just stop drinking.
I'm going to say some incredibly controversial things right now, and I hope you're triggered. I've worked one-on-one, supported thousands of people. So many people, it blows my mind. I've had conversations, countless podcasts, dude. My own podcast alone, hundreds of episodes. That means hundreds of hours of me talking. One-on-one conversations, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours the other day. I just had a conversation with the app Reframe, dude. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. Dude, big things happening, man. Mindful drinking, meditation, all these things. I'm telling you this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say these things. Most people that call themselves an alcoholic aren't. About 90% of people that go like, hi, my name's Kohdi, I'm an alcoholic. Who told you to say that? How long have you been saying that? Who convinced you? I guarantee you it wasn't you. An alcoholic doesn't need to say they're an alcoholic because they're too busy being an alcoholic. If you're telling me you're an alcoholic, it's very rare that that's true. There's been countless people, countless, when I'm sitting here, tears falling from their face, and they're going, I'm an alcoholic. I'm like, no, you're not. But I went 30 days, then I relapsed. Girl, you didn't relapse. What are you talking about? You're telling me that you have a physiological condition in which you cannot survive without alcohol? You have such a severe dependency that your last 30 days was a white-knuckled stretch, and you feel like you failed. And that drink or that evening or that drunk has made your life worse. You're struggling twice as hard. You're digressing back into old patterns. and your future looks worse than the last time you stopped. No, well, not even close. Well, what happened? I got sad and I chose to drink. That makes sense. Alcohol will help you do that. It'll help you get away from that stuff. You're not even addicted, dude. Like, you've had some deep patterning. You've been mimicking alcoholic behavior for a long time. So technically, it's safer to identify as that if that is improving your behavior. If calling yourself an alcoholic makes you think twice about having the next drink, good on you, mate. If it's validating why you're going to have one more, you're doing it wrong. If you're drinking because you're convincing yourself that you have an addiction, a dependency, you can't operate without it, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
Here's another triggering thing. Alcoholics don't want to drink alcohol. They don't. They have to.
Right.
An alcoholic does not want to drink. The only time they're excited to drink alcohol is if it's going to solve some type of emotional or physiological discrepancy, an emotional struggle, a physical pain, a literal processing mechanism. If alcohol is going to solve that, that's the only time an alcoholic will mimic excitement for the drink. An alcoholic does not want to drink. They have to. If that does not define you, you're not an alcoholic. You're allowed to not identify as that. As a matter of fact, I know this so neurologically and specifically that I created a whole program called Unlabeled Recovery. It's about recovering. It's not sobriety. It's recovering without labels, without your name, without alcoholic, without even saying you're sober. When you remove all the limitations that is the label, you're going to get better results. And the last triggering thing that I'm going to say, and I hope you're just fuming. Most alcoholics have never, I'm sorry, most people that call themselves alcoholics, that have identified as alcoholics, have never had withdrawals. Never. Because an alcoholic knows exactly if they're going to have withdrawals. They don't wonder. They don't live in fear. They don't have questions. They don't debate. They know. They don't have to go, hey, am I going to have withdrawals? Girl, I bet you've been calling yourself an alcoholic for a year and never had them. What, you felt bad in the morning? You drink too much? You started to shake? It's not because of an addiction. It's because your nervous system was wrecked from the neurotoxin that rocked the cells of your body, dude. That's what's supposed to happen when you drink gasoline. If that didn't happen, that'd be weird.
Right. I love that you bring this up because I don't think in any of my videos I ever said, I'm Megan, I'm an alcoholic. I've never labeled myself as that. And then I started listening to more books and more podcasts. Like, you don't need to label yourself. I didn't have withdrawals. And most of my followers that have been with me from the beginning know that I did not have withdrawals. And I'm pretty sure, like, I speak on behalf of people that abuse alcohol and are alcoholics. But, like, I made a TikTok a while back and I said something about alcohol use disorder. And he's like, just call it for what it is. Like, meaning, like, you're an alcoholic. I was like, I never, yeah, AUD is a thing. And so I feel like, man, this should be like a whole nother topic that we should talk about. But I love that you say that because not every single person is an alcoholic. Like, maybe alcohol use disorder. I definitely relied on alcohol for every single thing in my life. But when I decided to do 75 hard, I woke up hungover because I drank so much. I was never worried about withdrawing. I was never worried about how I was going to get through the day without alcohol. I was just like, crap, what is my life going to be like without alcohol?
But you put that in front of someone that can't tell the difference between a long night out and a severe dependency. And they go like, you felt bad because you're an alcoholic. You were probably shaking. Was your stomach all messed up? Did you have a headache? Were you dehydrated, right? Were you a little bit moody? Were you exhausted? I bet you had some insomnia. Coincidentally, those are all withdrawal symptoms, but those aren't applied to someone that doesn't have a physiological and or deep-rooted emotional dependency on alcohol. Remember, most withdrawals are very, very subtle, very, very simple. But society and all these fear-mongering influencers out here going, you're gonna die, bro. You don't stop, don't quit cold turkey. Because of that, I had to build a whole website called the Single Shot Method. If you seriously are ready to put the drink down or practice drinking less, and you think you're going to have withdrawals, you've heard that cold turkey is like the worst thing that could ever possibly happen to you. Go to singleshotmethod.com. I will teach you specifically, strategically, scientifically how to practice drinking less alcohol and then put it down cold turkey. You drink 10, let's get you down to 2 or 3 and then put it down. Let's lower your risk of withdrawals. You're probably not going to have them anyway because you're not an alcoholic. And if you are, this is going to help you lower your symptoms, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's worth it, but you got to be ready for these things. So it's there's always a reason. There's always, I don't even want to say an excuse, but there's always a justification to have one more. There's when you're in the
Always.
thick of things, always a reason, man. And if we continue practicing that behavior, we're raising our risk of having the withdrawals that we're attempting to avoid. So kind of like full circling all of that stuff. An alcoholic really, they know their circumstances to such a degree that there is no debate.
I mean, I have podcasts with so many levels of of so many different people's stories. And you have people that literally, like you, dead pretty much, and recovering from liver failure. I've had people with like terrible DTs, but then I've had people with stories like mine. I'm like, there's definitely a wide range of people out there. Not every single one of us is an alcoholic, but when you are physically dependent on it, I think that's when it becomes, well, I mean, it is a problem. I'm like, regardless, but
Right.
for your story, definitely alcohol levels, alcoholic levels.
I go like, all right, dude, you probably have a touch of the lism, right? So alcoholism is a spectrum, okay? And this is for everybody. You're watching this. I'm encouraging you to use this scale, okay? It'll show you how high on the spectrum you actually are. 1 to 10. 1, you can pick a drink up, have it, enjoy yourself, put it down, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no problems. Cool.
Normie.
You're a regular dude. Awesome. Love that for you. You are what every other person wishes they could do. If you can get drunk from smelling alcohol, you're a 0. That's amazing. That's how we're supposed to drink. Just the smell should get us high. Right? 2 to 4. Okay. You drink every day, roughly, right? Or you prefer it. Your life isn't dramatically impacted. You don't have any real dependencies. You can go all week long. If you never had it again, nothing different would really happen. You have kind of a love, a passion. You enjoy the way it makes you feel. You're not drinking to get drunk or black out or anything like that. You're just kind of a casual drinker. Maybe your tolerance is a little bit higher than the people around you. Social, whatever. You're very low on the spectrum. And a lot of people that I've worked with sit in that range. They all call themselves alcoholics, which is bananas. I can't even tell you how many people have been like, oh my God, it's such a relief. My girl, like everyone I work with wishes they could do what you do right now. Okay, you're good. I'm not worried about you. Go through the program. We'll chat soon. 5 and up is where things start to get a little bit more aggressive. 5 is you're getting off work and you definitely could go for a drink. You maybe don't have it, but it's starting to be like an entangled thought. You notice it's starting to become more of a habit. When you're going out, you're starting to think, is there going to be drinks that, maybe your anxiety is starting to spike a little bit, just the thought of going out or getting involved. And you go like, yeah, I think I'm going to have a drink. Right. And you're starting to recognize that's a little bit more common than you'd like it to be. 6 is when you're going to that event and you're going to have a drink for sure. At least 1, maybe 2. You're casual, but it's now something that you kind of feel like you have to have. You're going to hang out with your parents. You're going to bring the wine. There's no way you're going to hang out with them without having a glass first. Okay. 7, it's a non-negotiable. You're probably drinking, and it's closer to every day. Now, it may not be a lot of alcohol, but it's consistent. You're drinking every single day. You're expecting it. You're thinking about it. You definitely don't have a full-blown dependency, but you are actively performing higher levels of alcoholic behavior, and you're raising your risk of getting towards 8 or 9. 8, dude, you definitely drink every single day. Your tolerance is high. You may not even drink to get drunk, but you're definitely drinking more. You're drinking enough alcohol to hurt the people that drink at 1, 2, 3, and 4. The amount of alcohol that you're drinking would poison the people below you. Okay, that's dependency. It's when you're starting to basically assume that there's going to be alcohol, so wherever you're going and with whatever you're doing, and what you're starting to do is assume that you're going to have alcohol in your body at one point of the day. You're starting to operate with it. 9 and 10, it's a done deal. It's an easy, oh yeah, I drink. There's no question. You drink every day. It's if you're not drinking, that's weird. It doesn't mean that you have an addiction per se. You are way up on the scale though. There's really no telling the difference between you drinking the exact same way an alcoholic would and an alcoholic. You're drinking the same at a 9, you're drinking exactly the same as an alcoholic would, but you don't even have a dependency yet. You haven't developed the addiction. You're
But
borderline. So when you're at a 10, you just crossed that. You were a 9, and then you had that one extra drink, and now you've activated a state of dependency, that genetic predisposition that we completely, wrapped up into everything earlier. You now are physically and emotionally and psychologically dependent on this thing. Not only are you drinking every day, you have to have it. It doesn't mean you're going to have withdrawals. It means that it has been physiologically wired into your existence, and you don't function as well. You don't think as well. You don't operate as well if alcohol isn't a part of the equation. That is dependency. And that ranges too. So you could have just a full-blown addiction to only 4 beers, but the point is you're at a depend on the dependency scale. You only need 4, but if you don't have 4, you've got real problems. I needed 1.5 liters, 30 shots a day.
oh,
So I'm still I'm at the peak of 10. But the guy that's addicted to 4 and me addicted to 30, we're both equally addicted to the same exact poison. So we want to really look at these things and go, if I'm 9 and below, I should be doing something about my intake, because alcohol kills 3.5 million people a year. Girl, you and I are not built different. We're just going to go like, well, he was sad, so he drank. Well, he drank because he was sad, and he was sad because he drank. Well, he had a
twisted.
lot of anxiety, so he drank. No, he drank because he had anxiety, and he had anxiety because he drank. Well, he was depressed. He was depressed because he drank. Not he drank because he was depressed. Dude, it is a psychological just tornado. And then what we do is, onlookers is justify their drinking. Well, damn, can we just not, man? We got to be advocates for health.
Yeah. Too many. I mean, yeah. Alcohol is just promoted in society and socially accepted to pretty much maybe like eliminate the population.
It is population control for sure.
Right?
100%. It is a business, and we are the product.
I mean, when you're out of drinking and you look, I mean, I think you have to be far away enough from your last drink to really take into consideration what we just talked about, because you don't start viewing it differently until you are at a different state. You're not going to like get sober in 30 days, be like, oh yeah, what Megan and Kohdi said are spot on. Like, I mean, you have to get to a certain level of like sober respect to understand, to respect, what we're saying, and, take it into true consideration. When you look at it as, population control, it only makes sense to those of us that have been out of it.
Oh, 100%. Even just a small example, my partner and I, we take like shots of turmeric and like all like the health shots. And she's like, come take a shot with me. She's not, I mean, she doesn't drink. Like she has, but I don't know, it's been months. Like she doesn't drink to get drunk or black out or anything like that. She likes alcohol, but she doesn't want to drink, which is really, it's a complicated emotion. So to talk about the unlearning of the behaviors is she hands me a shot of turmeric and she has one and I've never had this shot before and she's like, hey, you want to take a shot? I'm like, yeah, dude, let's go. Like, crack the top, right? And I go and I take this shot, and the difference between the way her and I took the shot is I haven't consumed in almost 8 years. It's been a couple months for her. So I just took the shot. What she did was banged it on the table first, right? And then did it. That's what we did, bro. That's what we did.
So
That was the
true.
thing. Bang, whoop, bang it back, right? Woo! So she still autonomically practices what we practice when we have some type of, deep-rooted alcoholic behavior.
Yeah.
I saw that. She actually pointed it out to me because at that point, I kind of thought that was weird. I thought it was cute, kind of like raising your hand going through a red light or whatever. I was like, oh, that's cute. And then I went back and I was like, oh, that was crazy. So it evolves in time. And it's not you quit drinking alcohol and you stop doing alcoholic things, is you start taking care of yourself and then you evolve into someone that doesn't practice any of those behaviors. And you look back and go, not the same person. But this is why sobriety means you're in between drinks. You haven't recovered into someone that will never drink again. It literally is on the website, dude. It's like there's a difference between sobriety, becoming someone that doesn't drink, and becoming someone that would never drink.
Yeah. They need to definitely check out your content. I feel like you're helping several people and people love you on my channel.
I love them. What's that, girl? I've had some really amazing people reach out to me and go like, dude, I saw you on the podcast. Dude, my liver failed too. I was throwing up blood. I'm like, no way, bro. Crazy. It sucks that we both have the same story, but
Yeah.
you did, like, here's the
Right.
website, here's the stuff, let's grow. But it's really cool is, like, I never intended to talk about sobriety recovery. That just wasn't a thing. And then once I started going viral, like, consistently, I started to realize that this is way bigger than I even possibly imagined. Because when I was in the thick of these things, I thought I was like the only one. And every other alcoholic that I knew didn't take it seriously. They were the ones handing me more drinks. So I just thought it was normal, right? And then getting out of it, I'm going like, oh, damn. And then like 10 years later, those same people coming back being like, sorry, dude. I'm like, whoa. Like, they had their own health issues that happened. Here's the truth, dude. There's no such thing as a healthy amount of alcohol. The
Yeah.
healthiest amount is 0. There are 0 health benefits. Alcohol does not kill 3 million. I'm sorry, water doesn't kill 3 million people a year, but alcohol does. We don't drink enough water, but we drink enough poison. How did we do this? How did that happen? So now it's first off recognizing and accepting the fact that we've been conditioned to escape. We've been conditioned through society, through our friends and family and environment, to imbibe something that gives us a reason to seek more. The same thing we're using to escape is the same thing giving us something to escape from. That's the cycle. As soon as we accept that, we go, all right, can't keep doing the same things. I think I need to just stop. Yeah.
Just stop.
Just stop. Now, keep in mind, dude, it is not easy. I tried doing it, but me just stopping, keep in mind, I was addicted to 1.5 liters of vodka. Me just stopping stopped my heart. That's not going to happen to most people. As a matter of fact, only 8% of people that have a severe dependency on alcohol need severe medical attention. Most people's basic withdrawal symptoms, even advanced withdrawal symptoms, can be managed with water, rest, ibuprofen, some food, some movies, right? But a lot of people, electrolytes, 100%, throw some salt in your water, just a little bit. But here's the thing, the reason why people will just throw themselves into detox and rehab and the hospital and all those things is because they don't think that they could handle the basic symptoms on their own. Better to be safe than sorry. But if you're not going to use the pain and the despair that withdrawals cause, or even the fear of withdrawals, if you're not going to use that to take care of yourself, then you're using that as an excuse to do it again.
Yeah. Man, we need to definitely do this more regularly. And for those that haven't seen mine and Cody's first one, you guys can go back and take a look at it. But I love that you came back on and were chatting with me. I would love to do these like regularly because I mean I love like bouncing ideas off, and I don't know, it's fun.
I'm down. Let's go. I'm
Yeah.
all about it.